Hi.
Hello, I'm Jonny Smith.
I'm Richard Porter. Together we are Smith and Sniff.
Now this is called the Festival of Speed, and nothing says Festival of Speed more than the Supercar Paddock. So when Goodwood said, can you go down there, look at some supercars and have a chat, we said fine. But we do need to turn up in a superb vehicle.
5 is still a speed. But now let's go and look at some actual supercars in the Supercar Paddock of Supercars.
Super.
And we start here as if to prove that supercars aren't all cut from the same Italian cloth. This is a Ford Mustang, but it's the Mustang GTD, not a sporty Golf diesel, but it stands for GT Daytona, as in the class of IMSA racing. This is essentially a racing car that you'll soon be able to drive on the road.
Yeah. I absolutely love this. The engine is a reworked version. It's a 5.2 litre, not a 5 litre. It's dry sumped. It's supercharged, over 800 horsepower. It's got adaptive damping. The gearbox is not a manual. It's an 8-speed double clutch, and it lives back there. It's a transaxle for that lovely 50-50 weight distribution.
A neat touch, actually. It's got titanium paddle shifters, and they're recycled metal, recycled from F-22 Raptor fighter jets. Nice touch.
3D printed.
3D printed as well, very modern. The boss of Ford is talking a good game about this car as well. He might. It's attracted a lot of interest. They're only going to make it for 2 years, and probably only 700 a year, maybe not even that. They're being a little bit cagey about it. They've already had 7,500 expressions of interest from people who want to buy one, even though it's likely to cost $325,000. But the boss of Ford, he said to the chiefs of other car companies, get your sportiest model, meet me at a racetrack, I will take you on and I will beat you.
Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. As the supercars are gearing up to go out and do another exhibition up the hill, that car there to my right is the McMurtry Spearling, which is the car that set the outright record, I think it was last year or the year before, the fan-assisted electric car that's one-seater only. But that version there is called the Pure. That means it's race only, it's not a road-legal version, so it promises to be even quicker. Can't wait to see it. It's 895,000 quid plus VAT. I think it goes on sale next year. This, well, Richard will tell you all about this.
Yeah, now the McMurtry is interesting, but then in its own way, so is this. This is the Yangwang U9, a supercar from China. Yangwang, you might not have heard of them, but they are a division of BYD, who have started selling cars in the UK. This is a quad-motor, all-electric supercar. It has just under 1,300 brake horsepower. It can do 0 to 62 in under 2.5 seconds. It has very tricksy suspension that allows it, if you want, to drive on 3 wheels like an old Citroën DS. And theoretically, it can hop about like a lowrider. But I think what's most interesting is it's not on sale yet in the UK.
Yeah.
But never say never. A supercar from China coming soon.
Now we've come to the Aston Martin stand. The thing about Aston Martins is I think for many years they've all kind of looked the same. Always pretty, but all quite samey. A couple of years ago that changed when they brought out a one-of-one car called the Victor. It's actually over there. Astonishing looking thing. But because it was a one-of-one, you couldn't buy it. This is called the Aston Valor. This is actually going to be in production. They're going to make 110 of them. They are going to be road legal. 110, because it says down here, they've been making cars for 110 years. So it's a celebration to themselves. But this, unlike that one that was based on a 177, this has got the underpinnings of a heavily strengthened Aston Vantage. It's a 3-pedal car. It's got a manual gearbox alongside some incredible tweed-covered carbon bucket seats. But I absolutely love the styling of this thing. But this isn't the only new Aston here. There's another one right over here that Richard's going to tell you about that's related to this car.
It is indeed related to that car, but it's the track version, a snadge more power, 734 brake horsepower from the twin-turbo V12. They've lightened it a bit with a lithium-ion battery and so on, so it's saving about 100 kilos. Majored on the aero, splitter up the front here, all manner of slattery wing at the back. were all designed to stick it to a track. This car came about because an Aston Martin employee asked for a track-based version of the Valor, and that employee's name was Fernando Alonso. So Aston Martin said, oh, okay then. They're only making 38. Price is going to be about £2 million. Weirdly, I interviewed Fernando Alonso a few years ago when he drove for Renault, and he said he wasn't particularly interested in cars, and he drove a Megane diesel. Never asked for a track version of that for some reason. What's new from Ferrari, you're asking? Well, there's this, the SP8. Except you can't have one. No one can. It's a one-off. It's from their special projects department. That's what the SP stands for in the name. It was made at the request of a customer from Taiwan. He said, I don't want a roof, not any sort of roof at all. And they said, okay. So it's an F8 Spider, but as well as the unique body, it has no roof to fold over, as you would normally get on that car. Same 710 horsepower twin-turbo V8, so it'll probably get a shift on. It has these unique wheels, apparently inspired by those on the F40, not really seeing that. And inside, laser-etched Alcantara. No word on the price, but let's assume it starts with an M for millions. And now, here's Jonny with news from an up-and-coming engineer called Gordon Murray.
So while Rich is playing with Ferraris and things, I've come over to here, which is the Gordon Murray automotive stand, British hypercar, if you like. This is the T50S Nikki Lauda edition. This is a track-only derivative of the T50. So this thing's extra special because it's even lower in weight than the road-going car. So I think it's under 900 horsepower, and it's also up on power. The Cosworth 3.9, I think it is, V12 naturally aspirated engine. Revs to over 12,000 RPM. It's now delivering 725 horsepower. It's got aero on it. I think at 150 miles an hour, it will deliver 1,500 kilos of downforce, which is just mind-boggling. You can see it's different here. In fact, I think it's a different front and rear clamshell altogether, but you can still tell that it's a T50. Loads and loads and loads of carbon fibre throughout. They're only making 25 of these, and I'm pretty sure that all 25 have sold out. Remember, Gordon Murray Automotive, they don't mass produce any cars. The regular T50 road car, they've only made 100 of those. They're in production right now. Just a spectacular thing. This was here last year, but it wasn't running. This year at the Festival of Speed, people are seeing it for the first time actually running, and it revs to hell. Richard's over there playing with the Koenigsegg.
Yes, this is what Koenigsegg have brought to this glorious show and tell. This is the CC850. You may have noticed, if you're a keen Swedish supercar nerd, that it is designed to look like the CC8S from 20-odd years ago.
It's still one of my favourite supercars.
Yes. It's probably the first Koenigsegg that most people were aware of, with the doors that they still have, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
5-litre turbocharged V8 here. If you feed it the good stuff, E85 petrol, it will make 1,385 brake horsepower.
That's astonishing.
I'd say that's enough.
Yeah, well, even on regular El Cheapo fuel, it's 1,168 horsepower.
Yeah, it's going to go. The really clever thing about this is if you look in here, it's got an open-gated manual transmission. You can shift up and down the box, clutch pedal, stick, all the live long day, but when you're bored or tired, slot it back into automatic mode and it does the shifting for you. Really, really clever.
Just when you think that they've pushed the envelope so far that there's no envelope left, they build another envelope.
A beautiful £3.3 million envelope.
What? Is it really?
Over here at Porsche, they've been having a fiddle with the 911. This is the facelifted 992 GTS. It has an all-new 3.6-litre flat 6 at the back with just one turbo for the first time in turbocharged Porsche 911 history. We've had two a lot recently. 534 horsepower. But the interesting thing about this is for the first time, it's a hybrid.
Yeah, this is the first 911 to have a hybrid system. It's got a tiny 1.9 kilowatt hour battery pack, which lives where the 12 volt battery does in 911s, which is somewhere down there. So this is rear wheel drive, but I believe you'll be able to get it as a 4-wheel drive at some point.
Yeah, because the hybrid system doesn't, it's not one of those ones where there's like an electric motor on the front axle to make it 4-wheel drive. The hybrid is just integrated into the engine and the 8-speed P2K gearbox.
Yeah.
And it's here really for performance gains as much as efficiency. The interesting thing about the turbocharger is that it's electrically powered, so electric motor can spool it up so there's no turbo lag. And then, if you're absolutely pinning it and lots of lovely exhaust gases are flowing through to spin the turbo in the old-fashioned way, that turbo is also a generator that's feeding electricity back into that little battery there, so it can help your performance later on. It is clever. Yeah. I haven't driven this, you haven't driven this.
No, I haven't, but we know that previous generation 911s, GTSs specifically, are a really lovely model. They're not too extreme, they're great on the road. I noticed this has got the old single bolt wheels, which is a bit of a GTS
as they
thing.
do on GTSs, yeah.
Yeah, this is nice. I like it. It's going back to a simpler face. I like a simple face.
People wonder why car media folk always rave about Porsche 911s, and the general answer is because they're dead good.
Well, we've come to the end almost of the Supercar Paddock walk. We've saved something to the end. It's this. We're talking big numbers now in terms of power and performance. So, look, how many turbos do you want, Rich?
I'd like 4.
4 is fine. How many litres do you want?
Oh, can I have 8?
Yes. How many cylinders do you want?
Would it be greedy to ask for 16?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Oh, but I'm going to want 1,577 brake horsepower.
Well, you're in luck, because that's exactly what this, the Bugatti Mistral, has got. This is the first convertible Bugatti since the Veyron in 2012, over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were no convertible Chirons for some reason until now. This is a Chiron underneath, but it's got an all-new body with these sort of Art Deco-inspired details, particularly the headlights. And it does cost £5 million, and unfortunately, they're only making 99 and they're all sold out.
Oh, no.
So if you didn't get through on 0800 I'd like a Bugatti, I'm afraid that's it. You will not get to enjoy this, which is a swan song for the W16 engine. That's it, there will be no more. But coming up, the new Tourbillon, which hopefully we'll see at next year's Festival of Speed Supercar Paddock. But for now, that's it from us this year.
If you've enjoyed this paddock walk, then thank you. If you haven't already subscribed to the Goodwood channel, well, frankly, I'm disappointed. You should have.
Sure.